Good morning, kings and queens of Atlanta University Center. It's Miss Jones. I miss you all. This week, week 4, we're going to discuss 5 essential elements of a story. Make sure you take notes and make sure you pay attention. You can feel free to rewind if you need to, just in case you miss anything. Some of you may already be familiar with this information. By the end of this lesson and by the end of the week, you should be able to determine the 5 essential elements of a story.
Five
Stay tuned.
essential elements of a story. ELA instructional video, week 4. Jump into our norms. Ashe? First, we have be prompt. Prompt means on time, immediate. Next, we have be present. Present means occurring now, so you should be focused only on this learning. Lastly, we have be prepared. Prepared means being ready. So you have a paper and a pencil and any notes you may need, you're ready for. In this video, you will review your weekly checklist, be introduced to this week's learning agenda, be given examples of day-to-day tasks, and have a better understanding of the 5 essential elements of a story. Your learning agenda for this week includes our topic, 5 elements of a story. These components include the character, the setting, the plot, the problem or the conflict, and the solution. These essential elements keep the story running smoothly and allow the clues to the solution of the mystery to be revealed in a logical way that you can understand and follow. Five essential elements of a story are the character, the setting, the plot, the problem, the conflict, and the solution. The character is the individual the story is about. The author should introduce the characters in the story with enough information that you can visualize each person. This is achieved by providing detailed descriptions of a character's physical attributes and personality traits. Every story has a main character. The main character determines the way the plot or the mystery will develop, and is usually the person who will solve the problem. Next is the setting. The setting is the location of the action. The author should describe the environment or the surroundings of the mystery in such detail that you feel like you can picture the scene yourself. Next, we have the plot. The plot is the actual story around which the entire book is based, or the entire reading is based. A plot should have a very clear beginning, middle, and end, with all the necessary descriptions and suspenses so that you can make sense of the action and follow along from start to finish. Then we have our problem or our conflict. Every mystery has a problem to solve. Usually, who committed a crime and why? Authors should fill mystery stories with clues so that you can try the puzzle along with the characters. Then we have the solution. The solution is the problem, the way the action is resolved. The solution to the problem is the way the action is resolved. Finding a missing item or the person who stole it, for example, it is important that the solution be believable. Authors should be sure to include all clues necessary for finding the solution in the story somewhere. Now we're going to move on to our learning objectives for the week are I can identify the main character or characters and write a description using details from the text. I can identify where the story takes place by using details from the text. I can identify the conflict of the story and write a description using details from the text. I can identify the plot and write a description of the plot using details from the text. I can write about a time I had a similar experience as one explained in the text. As you might have noticed, everything you can do this week, you're going to be able to do this week, you'll use details from the text. Let's break it down. Ashe,
On your weekly checklist, you will be reading The Mixer by PG. I also encourage you to underline words that are unfamiliar to you or words that you haven't heard of before. Some of these words will be in bold and they will have the definition on the side of the paper or on the bottom of the paper. You can also underline characters as they are introduced. You can also underline places as they are introduced, or you can underline the problem or the conflict in a story if you find one. You can also underline or point out things that could be happening as the plot comes. Let's get into what those things mean right now. So, story elements are the pieces or ingredients that, when put together, make up a narrative story. Story elements include characters. Who are the characters? They could be animals, they could be people, or they could be things. Your setting includes when and where. When is the time? Is it daytime? The date? It could be nighttime. Where includes a house, maybe the forest, the pond, the garden. It can be at the playground. It can be outside. That is the setting. When and where. The plot is what happens. What happens in the beginning, what happens in the middle, and what happens at the end. Then you have the problem. Problems are normally sad, which is why I said sad face here. Then you have the solution. Happy. Solutions can be happy. Don't forget, our objective is to be able to identify 5 key elements of a story, 5 essential elements of a story. That is our goal by the end of this lesson and by the end of the week. So take your time, don't rush, and I hope you all enjoy this story and this lesson. Until next time.